price of effort and you're hoping that things will come your way, it's not going to come your way. The only thing that happens automatically in life is that you grow old, right? But if you want to grow in wisdom, if you want to grow in riches, if you want to grow in your dream, you got to pay the price of effort. Now, somebody said that Usain Bolt, I think he won 3 or 4 Olympic medals, right? And that's a big deal because an Olympic happens once in 4 years. And if you win like 3 medals across 3 years or 4 years, that is 12 years, right? And somebody said that he won so many millions and millions of dollars just for running about total time that he ran for a 100-meter race was less than it was a few seconds or something of that. And somebody totaled up. So he ran 4 races. The total time that he ran was less than 2 minutes. But in that less than 2 minutes, he earned some $100 million or something of that sort and said, not bad. You ran just for less than 2 minutes across 12 years and you got 100 million. That's a good deal. He said, hey, you know what? That may be a good deal, but you don't know the decades of practice that happened behind the scenes. So that leads me to the next lesson. What you do behind the scenes in terms of practice, in terms of effort, is what will reward you on stage, right? Running the race is easy, but the practice is the hard work. So these are some 4, 5, 6 lessons that I've learned, and I think it's important. I'll just leave you with one more lesson before I go on for questions. And this lesson is, if you want to be successful in life, you have a good chance in being successful in doing what you're passionate about, in doing what you love to be doing. That's where your success is going to be, right? For example, take Roger Federer, the tennis player. Roger Federer, imagine, we all know that he's such a talented player and such a champion, right? What if he grew up and said, I like to play tennis, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play music instead. Do you think he would be as successful as a musician, right, as he was a tennis player? No chance. Because his gift is tennis and his talent is tennis. And therefore, he took his talent and converted it into a gift, right? And therefore, he's a world champion. Somebody who I hold dear to my heart is the Mozart of Madras, A.R. Rahman, right? He's called the Mozart of Madras. Imagine A.R. Rahman said, yeah, I know I got talent in music, but I'm going to play tennis. Do you think he'd be as successful as a musician? If he started playing, no way. He's born to be a musician. He identified his talents. He loves playing music, right? And therefore, he's good at it. So what are you good at? What do you love doing? What do you enjoy doing? And when you pursue after that and you convert that talent into a gift, you will be successful. I realized my talent, my interest was to speak. Okay, and that's why you heard the introduction, and a beautiful introduction. I don't know who introduced me, but the person who introduced me has got really good talent in speaking. Abdul, what's his name?
Rinos, Rajiv.
Sorry?
Rinos.
No. Rinos, you got great talent when it comes to speaking. You need to pursue that talent. Your pronunciation is great. The way you delivered it was superb, right? So I realized that, I love to speak. I realized that when I speak, people enjoy it. And therefore, despite having decent success in the corporate world, in 2017, I said, I want to set up my own company where I can actually speak and inspire and coach people and train people and help them see potential. So I've been doing that for 3 years, and I've been really enjoying myself and doing fairly well as well. So my advice to you is, young as you are right now, but this is a great time for you to identify your talent and invest in it and pursue after it, right? While you focus on your studies, that's important. That's the base. But your talent is where your success is. Your talent is where your excellence is, right? So I'll just leave you with these 4, 5 lessons. And these have been life lessons that I've learned in my life so far. And I leave you with them. I hope that you will think, ponder over what I said and actually put it to play. I'll kind of move to Abdul right now for the question answer. I'll be happy to take questions and answer the questions that you have in mind.
Yes, Rajiv. The first question will be, Tell me about life as a student, please.
Okay. I loved my school. Our school, Abdul, you also studied in Don Bosco. I love the school. I have very fond memories of school. I've got very strong friendships from school. And I've still got great respect, and I still maintain contact with some of my school teachers. So fond memories. And like I mentioned a little while earlier, I started out really well in terms of academics, and I was doing quite well, even in sports, fairly well. But I went through a personal incident in life, and as a consequence, my focus went away from studies, and I saw my grades begin to drop. And I realized later that I needed to pay attention back to my grades, and fortunately, in the nick of time, I was able to get it back. So school taught me a lot, and even till today, when I look at where I am and what I do, I give a lot of credit to my alma mater, which is the school that I actually studied. So very fond memories and a lot of respect towards school. And I want to tell all of you on the call, right, these years that you have in your school are the best years of your life, right? These are the best years of your life. As you grow older and as life takes you to different places, you will fondly look back to school. And some of you will have fantastic memories and say, hey, you know what? I'm so glad I seized the opportunities. Some of you today will say, later will say, I wished I seized the opportunity. But the good part is you are still at school right now. Make sure to seize the opportunities. Build friendships. Build a lot of mentor relationships with your teachers because they are going to last for a lifetime. The lessons that you learn from these friendships and from the mentorship of your teachers.
Next question, Rajiv. You have held senior roles working for both the Birlas and the Tatas. How does one excel?
That's a great question. I think excellence, first of all, comes through what I call personal leadership. Okay, we hear so much about leadership as a concept, and often we think leadership is about leading others, and that is true. But it all starts by leading yourself. And if you're not able to lead yourself, you will not be in a position to excel. You will not be in a position to lead others. Excellence has a couple of components in it. The first component is you are very clear about your goal, what you want to achieve, where you want to go. Okay? And you're very clear why you want to do something. When you are clear about your why, you'll find out how you should do it. And you'll do whatever it takes to achieve it. But it all starts with the why, right? So excellence requires a why. The next step is about having the right kind of attitude. Okay, now I know I've seen a lot of people in my corporate life, people who've got a lot of aptitude, a lot of book knowledge, right? But they've got experience also, but they don't have the attitude. Attitude is very important. Without the right kind of attitude, you just cannot excel. So I think that's another important aspect. Coming to important attributes one needs to have to excel: communication. And you get language by reading. You get language by even watching people speak. But most importantly, you get a hold of your language by practicing it. So make it a point to practice your language. But language is important, but it's also about how you communicate, right? How are you able to get the point across? How are you able to add humor while you communicate? How are you able to engage with the other person? Many people use stories to, in their communication process because that stories help people to kind of understand what you're trying to convey, so on and so forth. So how you communicate becomes very important. Fourthly, credibility, right? Are you somebody who's known to keep up your word? If you are not somebody who's known to keep up your word, you don't have credibility. And when you don't have credibility, you will not be taken seriously. And finally, how do you excel? By being a consistent learner, that you're always wanting to learn. I tell this often. The day you stop to learn is the day you stop to earn, right? The day you stop to learn is the day you stop to earn. So how do you learn? Well, you read, you enroll in courses, you observe, right? But you must constantly keep learning. Every day you must learn.
Sabiramis, is it from Rajiv's side?
Yes, I too have the same feeling. Yes, so I think Mr. Rajiv has some network issues there.
Amin sir,
Told
welcome.
you have, yeah, you have option but to excel. Yes, Abdul.
Rajiv, we lost you for a few seconds.
Okay, where did you lose me? Which
exactly
part?
1 minute. 1 minute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
When you were telling
Yeah.
about the day we stopped to learn and the day
the day we stop to learn is the day we stop to earn, right? So how do you learn? You learn by reading, you learn by observing, you learn by speaking to people. Now, this whole platform that the school has put together is a platform to learn, right? On reading, people tell me, I want to read, but where is the time? I tell them, read 10 pages of a book every day. If you read 10 pages of a book every day, in a year you would have read 3,650 pages, which means 10 books. And imagine the kind of content that will be in your mind if you just read 10 pages a day. So when you put all this together, you have no chance or no option but to excel. Yes, Abdul.
Yes, Rajiv. Is there a problem with your network? Because the video is not very clear. Is it a Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it is a Wi-Fi. Yeah. It is a Wi-Fi.
Fine. Okay. I would like to see if Amin sir is with us, the correspondent. Amin sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Welcome, Amin sir.
Hi, Rajiv. It's great to hear from you. Very lot of wisdom in your words.
Thank you.
From experience that you've personally done, because if you really think about it, whatever you're mentioning now is a lot of filled with wisdom.
Thanks, Amin. Thank you so much.
And wonderful for you to spare your time to inspire our students.
My pleasure, Amin.
We'd like to invite you to our school one day once all this pandemic is over and the students start coming to school. It'll be great to hear you on the stage.
I'd love to. I think it will be a massive honor. Yes, once these things change and I make a trip to Chennai, I'm based out of Bombay, but I'd love to come and talk to your students.
Thank you so much for your time. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Carry on.
Okay, Rajiv, you are in Bombay now.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, Rajiv, the third question is, why did you quit a successful job to start your own business?
Yeah, I think that was a turning point in my life. In 2016, one of my daughters suddenly fell very ill. She was 13 years old. She suddenly fell very ill and she was very critical. We almost lost her. But by God's grace, she recovered and she's well now. But in 2016, she was admitted in CMC Vellore. While we were in Bombay, my wife and my daughter were in Vellore. I would spend 2 days in Bombay, the remaining days in Vellore. And this was going on for some time. I remember she was admitted in the ICU. At least 4 or 5 times she was in the ICU. A couple of times she was on the ventilator and so on and so forth. I was sitting outside the ICU and I was waiting, because you can't go into the ICU. You just wait there and, when they call you, you go inside. At that time, I heard a small voice within me, which told me and made me realize how short life is. Life is short. So I heard life is short, life is uncertain. Don't waste time. Do and live out your purpose. And for me, that voice was like a turning point. It sounds like a movie, but that's exactly what happened. And I said, okay, what is my purpose? What is my why? And I said, my why is to speak, inspire, and teach. And I want to work with people, be it students, be it corporate executives. I do a lot of work in the corporate side of it. Work with employees to help them identify their potential and convert it to performance. So I quit my job, right? And I set up this firm. And therefore, I do a lot of training, I do a lot of coaching, and also do consulting for organizations. Abdul, I must tell you, it's been very satisfying, very fulfilling to be able to involve with people's lives and to help them succeed. I would think the last 3 years has been the most satisfying part of my career. I've had the good fortune of standing up and making presentations to Mr. Kumaramangalam Birla, to going into the Tata House in Bombay with the senior officials there. All those were good moments in my life. But these moments of being able to inspire people, right, and help them identify, their success and their potential has been very satisfying for me, Abdul. And that's the reason why I quit my job.
And what is purpose, and how can one identify one's purpose?
Very interesting question. Very interesting question. See, I think it's important, I've also spoken about success, and I think success is a good thing. But success is not the highest level. The highest level is being purposeful, right? When you can be successful, and I want everybody to pay a little attention, you can be successful, but not purposeful, right? But when you find your purpose, and when you are purposeful, you will always be successful. So what is purpose? I believe that each of us, have a purpose in our life. That's why we are alive. That's why we are created. For some of us, the purpose is to become entrepreneurs. Set up your own business and do this. For some, like me, is to inspire people. For some, it's to become doctors. For some, it's to become educationists. For some, it is to be musicians. For some, it is to open their own hotel. Whatever it is, right? You are born with a purpose. You need to identify what your purpose is. And you need to engage with your purpose. When you engage with your purpose, you will be very satisfied personally. And money can't buy that satisfaction. And when you are purposeful, right, you will be a blessing to those around you as well. You will find meaning in life. People ask me, but Rajiv, I understand that. How do I find my purpose? Well, my answer to them is you find your purpose by your talents. What are your talents? What are you good at doing? Right? What do you enjoy doing? That's a clue for your purpose. Second is, what are you burdened about? Are you burdened about seeing people hungry on the streets? Right? If that's a burden for you, I know many people who actually spend their 24 hours or a majority part of the 24 hours towards going and looking after people on the streets or looking after children who are abandoned. So it could be a burden, right? It could be a talent. It could be a burden. So the third area is when you do something that you like to do, other people say, hey, thank you for doing this, which means others like what you do and they are blessed by what you do. They find meaning in what you do. That's another area to identify your purpose. And fourthly, it's an area, even if you wake you up in the middle of the night and say, Abdul, what do you like to do? Right? And you say, I like to do this and I'll do it free of cost and I don't mind doing it any time of the day. I never get tired by doing it. That can be an area of purpose. For Roger Federer, his purpose was to play tennis. For A.R. Rahman, his purpose is music. So they just focused on those zones, right? For somebody else, for Girish Ramdas, who came on and spoke to you all, for him, his purpose is to be an entrepreneur. Just do what you're called to do. Identify that, do it. You live a very satisfied life. That's what purpose is all about.
And what is the difference between talent and a gift, Rajiv?
Again, excellent question. You see, all of us are born with talents. Everybody, all the students on the call, each of you have a talent. Make no mistake about it, right? Talents can be varied, right? A talent can be, playing cricket, for example, that can be a talent. A talent can be your ability to grasp, information that comes your way. That's a talent, right? A talent could be to speak. That's a talent. Your talent could be even to be a chef, right? To cook. You love to cook things. It could be a talent. The point I'm trying to make is all of us have our unique talents. Okay? So identify what your talent is. But you got to convert the talent into a gift. Many people ask me and say, what profession should I join? And for them, the answer is typically, I must join a profession where I want to be successful. So I ask them, so what is success for you? They say, when I can earn a lot of money, that is success for me. Maybe true, but not completely true, right? So therefore, they look at, I want to choose a profession, and they end up choosing a profession which, according to them, enables them to earn a lot of money, but is not their area of talent, right? So you must operate in your area of talent. Now, talent is a raw form. You got to work on that talent. For example, if your talent is to be a musician, let's say a guitar player, for example, right? You have a talent in playing the guitar. Now, the more you practice, the more you learn, the more you research, the more you spend time in playing the guitar, more hours of practice that you put in, right? The better and the better and the better you will get. Then talent slowly converts into an area of expertise. From an area of expertise, it becomes an area of strength. And as you keep practicing, from an area of strength, it becomes a gift. Now, when you are gifted, right, you will be successful. Whatever you are gifted in, right? So it's not about profession which gives you money. It's about your area of gift. If your area of gift is writing, guess what? Everybody will want you to write. And because when you write, they love to read. And because you love to read, they're willing to pay you more. If your area of gift is tennis, like Roger Federer, right? They pay any money to watch you play. If your area of gift, like A.R. Rahman, is music, that's a gift for him, right? He's extremely successful. They love his music. I love his music, right? And they'll be willing to pay you anything that you charge. Not because of anything else, but because you've converted your talent from being a talent to an area of expertise, to an area of strength, to being a gift. So whatever your talent is, and everybody's got a talent, don't let it just remain a talent. Convert it into an area of expertise, convert it into an area of strength, and then convert it into a gift. You got to be gifted. And the way to convert it is effort, 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 and effort. Spending more time as you do it. That's how you convert a talent into a gift.
And we come to the end of the question with the last question, advice for the students.
Wow. I think in terms of advice, I wish somebody told me this, right? I wish somebody told me, I'm going to share with you what I wish somebody told me. Understand where you want to arrive. What's your point of arrival? Which means, what do you want to be doing? I know some of you may say, hey, Rajiv, I hear what you say, but I'm young. Now today I want to do this. Tomorrow when I wake up in the morning, I want to be a teacher. Day after tomorrow, I want to become a doctor. It keeps changing for me. I know when you're young, it's not a little stable. What you want to, the vision is not very clear. But set goals for yourself, right? And let your goals be based on your purpose. Identify what your purpose is and say, I love to do these things and maybe my purpose is this. Once you've identified, set your goals basis that. That will be your point of arrival. Second, be focused. Be absolutely focused on what you want to do. Third, put the effort behind it. Fourth, read up a lot, right? Every day read 10 pages. Fifth, right? Have the right company around you. The people around you will really have an impact on your mind. And I want to tell you, the most important organ in your body is your mind, right? I know we feed our stomachs 3 times a day, right? But how often do you feed your mind? Because from your mind you think. From your mind you form habits. From your habits you form practices and behaviors. So every day feed your mind at least twice a day with good content, that your mind can feed on and dwell on, because that will change how you live. So I think that's what I will probably leave you with as advice. If you fall, and we all fall, that is fine. Pick yourself up, right? And move forward one step at a time.
MashaAllah. Very good, Rajiv. Now we come to the most
Okay, you're on
important.
mute.
Sorry. Very good, Rajiv. Mashallah. We come to the question and answer session, which is the most interesting part. And who is going to be the first one, boys? Can one of you come forward, please? Sabira Miss, can you please invite the boys?
Yes, sir. Sir, your life lesson stories are really inspiring, and yes, this would really be helpful for our students.
Thank you.
And students, those who are interested to ask questions, please type your name on the chat window. So I'll be calling out your names. Meanwhile, sir, could you just highlight something about how to build confidence to our students?
Yeah. Good question. You have to understand that we all struggle with times we get nervous, right? Even when I came on this chat, I was nervous. Every time I go on stage, I get nervous. So getting nervous is a normal thing. But you don't allow yourself to remain being nervous. How do you get confidence? Well, you know your subject really well. Okay? You got to know your subject really well. Second is, you got to practice behind the scenes. You got to put the effort behind the scenes. Third is, you got to have a conversation with yourself. Very often, the person who talks to you most is yourself, right? You talk to you more than anybody else talks to you. So my point is, what are you talking to yourself? Are you talking thoughts of defeat or thoughts of failure and saying, no, I'm going to fail. People are going to laugh at me. I can't do this. Change the conversation. Instead, you start talking and say, I can do this, right? I've prepared well right now. I know what I should be doing. I know that the words that I speak are going to come out clearly. So have that kind of a conversation. Have a couple of good people around you with whom, who can motivate you and inspire you. I think if you do all these things, you will be able to be confident. You got to do it often, and you have to realize the more often you do it, the better you get in terms of this whole confidence thing.
Thank you, sir. Abid? Do you have a question, Abid? Till then, could you just tell us something about the public speaking skills to our students?
Yeah, so here's what I would do, right? When it comes to public speaking, it is a very important aspect. All of us at some stage of life, we should be able to speak on a public platform. Very important. By the way, the number one fear among the top 10 fears in the world is the fear of public speaking. But people who actually achieve that, who learn how to do it, right, really do well in life. Public speaking we believe that people are born as public speakers. That's not true. People learn how to speak well on a public platform. When you are preparing your speech, again, be very clear about why are you saying what you're saying. Why am I saying this? Why should I be conveying this particular topic, right? How does it matter to the audience? So be very clear about your why. Second, when it comes to public speaking, it's about knowing your audience. Who's going to be there in your audience, right? What level of understanding do they have? So know about your audience. Get to understand, ask questions from the organizers, who's going to be there, and therefore you can tailor your speech accordingly. Third is, I would say, make the connection. You have to connect with your audience emotionally, right? Sometimes we just prepare a great speech. Now, if I come like Sashi Tharoor right now and speak to all of you here, one, I won't understand myself. Second, I'm sure you won't understand me, right? So, but instead, if I'm able to tell you stories from my life, tell you what happened in my life, right? I'm able to connect with you emotionally. Use humor. Humor actually helps, right? So crack a joke in between. Make people laugh, lighten up the mood when you actually communicate. When you communicate on a public platform, public speech or public speaking, try and use a story in between. It really helps. People understand stories, appreciate story, and stories help to drive the point. When you're speaking publicly, have a conversation. Let it not just be a lecture. When two people are friends are talking together, what do? Right? They have a conversation. It's not a lecture. So when you're speaking, also have a conversation. What else? If you're making a public speech, and you're using slides, don't read what is there on the slides. The slides are supposed to support what you're speaking. You are not supposed to support the slides. Many people have the habit of putting slides and reading what's there on slide. Don't do it. Avoid that mistake. Your audience will say, I can read the slides. What are you doing? What value are you doing? Right? So use your slides to actually support you. Your body language is very important when you're speaking. Right? People are tuning into your body language. If you're nervous and you put your hands in your pocket, right, and you keep shaking your legs this side, that side, people can see that nervous energy. But instead, you keep your hands out. You're making eye contact with the audience, right? You kind of move towards the left side of the stage, then move on to the right side of the stage. You stop, you pause. Your voice modulation, engages the audience, right? So your your body language is very important. The clothes that you wear, are they pressed? Are your shoes polished? Right? All these things actually happen. Smile often when you're speaking, because that pushes away your nervousness, and people like to see a smiling face. And finally, rehearse. So these are some tips I'd like to give you when it comes to public speaking.
Thank you so much, sir. So now our students are ready for the question. Class 9.
Yeah, Afzal, can you ask your question, please? Afzal? Okay.
All right, we have another student, Rino's.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for your appreciation. I'm Rino, and I have a question.
Yeah.
How to get rid of your nervousness, even if you have the confidence of performing well? Even if I have the confidence, I am nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get rid of that nervousness.
Thank you for asking me that question. Sometimes that nervous energy is good. Okay. I was speaking to one of the leading celebrity radio hosts recently. I was having a conversation with him. And he's a guy who interviews the who's who here. He interviews people like Amitabh Bachchan, Hollywood personalities, intellectual personalities, Raghuram Rajan, and all that. I asked him, "Hey, do you ever get nervous?" He says, "Yeah, I get nervous." And then he goes on to tell me a story, which I think is very important. And he says that his dad told him it's good for you to get nervous because if you're not nervous, it means that you're overconfident. And when you're overconfident, you will invariably fail. You'll make a mistake. But it's also not good for you to be overly nervous. Just the right amount of nervousness is important. When you're over nervous, what happens is it means that you cannot perform well. So you must have the right amount of nervousness. And you are the best person to understand what is that nervous state that you are in. If you're just about rightly nervous, it means that you're going to be alert. It means that you are careful about not making a mistake. You are thinking of the words that you want to speak and so on and so forth. So just make sure that you're not nervous at all, which is bad. It means you're overconfident, and not overly nervous, which means that you can't perform. Just be the right amount of nervousness. Second is when you go on stage, what I do is I try to go before the event. So I get a look of the whole stage. I close my eyes. I visualize that the auditorium is full of people. I see the whole picture in my mind before I actually go on stage. Third is I have those conversations like I told you with myself, saying, "Hey, Rajiv, you've done this before. You've prepared well now. I'm sure you can do it again." Right? So have that positive, self-affirming conversations. Right? So, Rinos, that is what I would do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. That will surely be of help.
Yeah, Faisal, go ahead with your question. Put on your mic and ask the question, please. Yeah, Faisal. Okay, next, Tahsin, can you please ask your question? Tahsin?
My question is, what 3 habits will improve our life?
Tasin, that's $1 million question you asked me. What 3 habits? One I would think is you must have the right character, Tasin. It all starts with character. Now, I may have a lot of talents, but if I don't have character, which is good moral standing, right? Integrity, I cannot be successful. I definitely can't be successful. So I would think character. Second, I would say is be prepared to put in the effort. You need to put effort in, right? Without effort, you can't achieve anything. Third is, I would think perseverance. That even when it gets tough, that you choose to continue to persevere. If you do, I would think these are 3 pillars. If you have these 3 pillars, whatever you do on top, whatever you build on top of that, the structure will stand. So character, what I told you, effort and perseverance is what I would suggest. Since you gave me only 3 choices, that would be my top 3 for you.
Yeah, Ibrahim, can you come forward on your mic?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead with the question.
No, sir, I don't have any question.
Okay, fine.
We have Manik of class. to ask the question.
May I ask now, teacher? Yeah. So, Rajiv sir, you said that that you have written 3 books, and I myself, I'm an aspiring author, and I've last year I wrote a short book which was a compilation of my short stories till now, and Sabira teacher helped me publish it last year. And so, as an aspiring author, I wanted to ask you, what tips would you give to someone like me, and like how were you inspired, and what do you write about?
Right. Jamal, thank you for asking that question. And first of all, congratulations for writing a book. That's a great achievement. Somebody as young as you are, you've already published a book. And I want to congratulate the teacher as well for helping you to do it, ma'am. Salute you for helping your students' dreams come true. Jamal, some of the tips that I will give you is what I follow is write your thoughts and capture it in some form. Okay? Because thoughts come and thoughts go. Right? It's important to capture the good thoughts. So I use my iPad and I go on the notes section and I kind of just key in my thoughts there. That's number one. Second is it takes a lot to write a book, and you know about it since you've written. So get into the habit of blogging. Get into a habit of blogging and start blogging things is what I would think is very important. Third, to be a good writer, you need to be a good reader as well, Jamal. So read up, especially on the genre that you like to read, to write about. Start reading other authors. It becomes very, very important. Fourth, find a good publisher, Jamal. A good publisher will publish the book, but will also help you on the distribution side of it, to distribute your books. Because writing the books is very tough. Writing a book is very tough. But selling the book becomes even more difficult, right? So get all the help in terms of a good publisher who will help you on the distribution side. So I would think these are 3-4 things that I would advise you to pursue when it comes to writing your next book. And set yourself a goal. I set myself a goal. Every 2 years I should write a book. What books do I write? My first book was about faith. It's called God's Instructions for Today. My second book was called Wisdom Workout, which was about wisdom and how do you apply wisdom on an everyday basis. My third book was called Fearless in Battle, and that book was about my daughter. I told you she was unwell, right? About our journey and her journey in particular as she went through her sickness and how she fought through it and the grace of God and things like that. My third book was called Fearless in Battle. So that's what I've written about so far.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome to that.
Yes, miss.
Sir, we'll ask Faisal's question since he's not able to connect with us.
Okay.
The question is, which was your first public speaking and where it was held?
I think my first public speaking was at school. I was very nervous, but I still was excited. See, I want to leave you a clue in identifying your talent. Your talent is something you want to do. You're very excited to do, but at the same time, a little nervous about it as well. So you feel the tension between excitement and nervousness. That's a good pointer to what your talent is, right? So I think my first was at school. Abdul will remember we used to have these assemblies, right? And there'll be all these students standing down in lines, and every class would be there. Thousands of students would be there, and I got to MC some school function. I think it was a Christmas celebration function or something of that sort, and I got to MC that. I was very nervous, but I was very excited. But after the event, that really gave me belief that I can actually do this. So that was my first attempt at public speaking.
There's another question from a student. I have great and talent, but when it comes to the crunch, I lose my confidence due to manipulation by people. How can I strengthen my leadership qualities?
Yeah. That's a question on belief, right? You must believe your own ability. You must believe your own ability. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you? That was a line somebody told me when I was young. And that line stuck with me. And I thought about it. And as human beings, we take confidence from others, which is not a bad thing. But not always people will believe in you. It starts by you believing in yourself. When Roger Federer started, I don't know why I'm talking about Roger Federer so much today, but I'll continue. Right? I don't think anybody, when he started, would think he would become the legend that he became. Right? Winning so many, they perhaps thought that, hey, he'll be good at tennis. But nobody thought he'd be so great in tennis. I would think even of the other person I've been talking all evening, who I have a lot of respect, which was A.R. Rahman. I mean, when A.R. Rahman started, people would have said, yeah, he's talented, but nobody would have thought that he'll end up winning an Oscar, right, for the country. Right? But he believed in himself. I think when he went and asked a few music directors, when he started his career for a chance, he didn't get a chance. But today, now he decides what projects he takes or not. The point I'm making is this. You need to believe in yourself first. When you start believing, you start getting more confident. When you start getting more confident, you start to perform better. When you start performing better, people will recognize you. When people recognize you, then they'll start believing in you. So don't be bothered about other people's beliefs. You must be bothered about what you believe in yourself, is what my advice will be. Does it mean that I should have nobody around me? No, I'm not saying that. Have a couple of very trustworthy people around you who can stand with you, who can give you very honest feedback, and also people who will believe in you.
Any more questions, students? Abdul sir?
Yes, miss. We will have the vote of thanks.
So you need to unmute your mic.
We can have the vote of thanks, miss.
All right. Jamal Hani?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, please.
Good evening to one and all. Honorable guests, teachers, and my dear friends. It is my privilege to deliver a vote of thanks on this session. I, Jamal Hanif, on behalf of Sana Model School and the entire fraternity of the institution, first of all extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty. On my own behalf, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the guest of honor, Mr. Rajiv Chelladurai, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace this forum. We had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. I again thank our esteemed guest for the words of wisdom that radiated a source of energy within us. We thank you for being with us today in guiding us through your knowledge. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jamal.
Thank you, Hanif. Rajiv, just before leaving, any words to finish off?
No, I'll just say that this is the first time I'm interacting with your school, and I must say I'm very impressed with the school. I see so much of discipline that's there. I see the level of respect with which students are addressing teachers, and it really heartens it makes me feel very heartened to note this. In a time and age that we live in, this is the kind of culture that we need to create among students. A culture of respect, a culture of trust, and a culture to learn. So I want to just wish you all the best. I'm going to take up that offer, and God willing, when things get better, I want to visit your school and meet all of you. So until then, God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. See you then. Bye.
God bless. Bye.
Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Allah Hafiz.